Right. So next topic, ladies and gents, is it's a pretty Disney heavy one actually, but it's basically the Mandalorian season 3 is basically a bomb, like
really
a substantial bomb. Yeah, quite surprisingly. I was surprised to see this. This is Disney's Lucasfilm's big hitter, but it's going down. It's going downhill. Now, this is just one sort of metric to go by, but it's a comparison, right? So they compare it like for like. So Samba TV, 1.6 million US households watched the season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus.
That's not good.
That's really small.
That is really not good.
That's really, 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 really small.
So
and that Samba TV has got access to over 25 million connected TVs.
Yeah, and Roku has a little over twice as many.
Yeah, but not only that, it got beat out by the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. Wow. Dang. That's bad.
And it's lost. I think it's lost like a million viewers or something like that. So the data reveals that the Book of Boba Fett season premiere beat out the Mandalorian season 3 premiere by 2.2%. So according to data previously released by Samba TV, as the Book of Boba Fett was watched by 1.7 million households, the Mandalorian season 3 came just shy of that number. Update: Samba TV released it as 1.6 million households, a million less than the Book of Boba Fett, around a 6% difference.
Wow. Well, okay, so let's extrapolate. So if you have 64 million households with Roku, so you can extrapolate those numbers. If 1.6 million, you could kind of just do the math and multiply that by 2 and add it to the 1.6 million. This is not doing great in its premiere.
No. Well, the Mandalorian season 3 premiere fell short of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I mean, so you only had 5 million people watching this thing?
Well, I think what they're saying is it's 5 million people from the people that they're pulling data from. This isn't I don't think this is across the board.
No,
this is like for like comparison across previous reports of other things, though. So it's a reliable metric when you're working within the comparison like for like. Within that as a metric, like it is, like it's reliable on that sense, basically.
But if I'm building a model for it, right, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, so this is what I would expect out of extrapolating over to Roku, right? And since the Samba television connected TVs and the Roku set-top boxes and televisions, and pretty soon other appliances as well, when you look at all those things, you can do a comparison and say, they are the majority of devices that people watch in North America, because that's primarily where we're focused with Disney Plus. And you look at those numbers and you go, this is bad. This is not anywhere close to the kind of penetration you need on a massive streaming service like that. And it's going the wrong direction. But Disney's been going the wrong direction on with Star Wars, and overall for quite some time. So
the last 2 years, pretty much.
Yeah, and their numbers have been dwindling across the board. And it's not just Star Wars, but specifically Star Wars has been kind of failing, because lots of stuff has not been positively received, and Nick would definitely know that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So Nick, thoughts, buddy?
I'm actually not that surprised by this news. I think this just goes right back to what we were talking about earlier. If you're putting out constant garbage that people are just disappointed in, it's just going to make them that less likely to continue watching the next thing that comes out, or at least wait and hear what people are saying about it before they invest their time in it. I know a lot of people, just our own sub base, that I see comments saying, I'm not watching. I'm going to wait till it's out and find out if it's worth watching at all. Or a lot of people have just checked out completely. So yeah, I'm honestly not that surprised by this. I think the first 2 episodes have been very average with some really cringe parts in it, but from a fan perspective, not a critic perspective, I like the show okay so far. The first 2 episodes. There's not anything overwhelmingly offensive to me in it. I've always got my nitpicks when it comes to these episodes, things that I find cringy or dumb or bad writing, or I think it's bad storytelling, the way they're doing it or whatnot. But you know, as a Star Wars fan, I'm not hating it yet. But yeah, I completely find this, what they're saying here, to be believable.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, from my perspective on this, I am surprised because this seemingly was the last thing. This was Lucasfilm's last ace in the hole. You know, it was the
The
last
way
thing that they
season 2
had.
ended. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but maybe Book of Boba Fett pissed people off. They weren't interested. Maybe
Oh,
the
it pissed a lot of people off.
Well, what I mean, but what I mean specifically when it comes to the Mandalorian is because Mandalorian was in it, and then Grogu comes back in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Maybe people saw that as a bit of a, a U-turn on a narrative, which felt like it was closed. So
Absolutely.
I'm just guessing, I'm speculating as to why the viewership is so low. Maybe it's to do with that. Either way, the short of it is that Lucasfilm was in dire straits. Like, that's bad viewership, and it makes sense as to why Disney is looking to now sell off IPs or streaming elements to other companies now, because they're like, we fucking can't keep making money like this. We're not making money like this. We need to make money. So it makes a lot of sense. Their viewership numbers are not good, but this was seemingly the last thing which they had as an ace in the hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, shocking. In that regard, I think it's shocking.
Yeah, I know Coach dropped a video right when the stream was starting talking about this, where he was kind of giving some pushback on this article. I haven't seen the video. I don't know what he said. He did some digging today, I guess. So I'm gonna go see what he found out and watch the video later. But if anyone wants another perspective, I know Coach dropped a video on this topic on our channel just
Well,
right when the stream started.
Yeah, I mean, look, so you could definitely push back on this from a perspective of, well, it's not 100% viewing figures. We don't know the 100. Of course, we actually don't know the actual viewing figures. We don't.
Yeah, and they don't release that information.
Exactly. And even if they do, it's not independently verified.
Yeah.
However, these specific metrics by these specific companies, you can rely on, and they're a good comparison when you compare them against their own metrics from previous seasons.
Yeah.
Because that is a worthwhile metric to compare. It's not the whole picture. So, maybe he's pushing back on that perspective, I guess. And that's a completely valid point to have. It's not the entire perspective, but it's still a pretty large metric to go by.
I mean, even taking this metric, if you just take just this metric on its own, it should be well above the numbers of these other shows, especially the way season 2 ended, and it was such a big thing. Grogu is obviously a moneymaker for them, merchandise wise.
Huge.
So yeah, the numbers that they're gathering,
Loki beat it by
should be higher for sure.
Yeah, Loki beat it by 35%.
Yeah,
Loki beat the Mandalorian by 35%. Obi-Wan Kenobi beat it by 28%.
Yeah.
These are metrics like for like within the same company, the same measurements that they're using, just across different shows. Those are bad.
Yeah.
Paulie, I see you nodding away there. You got someone to chime in, bud?
No, I'm I'm kind of with you. I'm a little a little surprised. Yeah. It makes sense. Because people are done. People are really, really done, especially after the last couple of TV shows. I'm enjoying it, but I get it.
Same. I like it.
I'm like surprised and not surprised, but I was like, damn, that's bad.
And at the urging of Mr. H and Paulie and a few others, I actually have been diving in and caught up with y'all on the show. And my thoughts on it are this. It's interesting. It's not fully engaging. I I mean, I have my quibbles about what's actually happening, and of course, you can point back to the space alligator or whatever that was in the water. But in the most recent episode that I saw, it does introduce a monster that you guys talked about on Thursday that I'm quite interested in. And and I kind of get it, and I think that there would have been a lot there had we gotten the Rangers, right? The show that was going to feature Cara Dune and a few others, Timothy Oliphant and all that. I think that there was an entirely other story that had to be written around. And I think that's also why we got 3 episodes of Mandalorian in Boba Fett, is because trying to rework the story required some of those.
Yeah, it was a huge mess. Huge mess.
Yeah.
But I will say this: if I see Peli Motto talking Jawa anymore in this season, I'm chunking my remote at the TV.
I've seen your tweets about Peli.
Oh God, man, she's the worst, the absolute worst. I hate that character. Ugh. Anyways, I'm not going to go on a tangent about it, but yeah, not a fan.
It's very funny. So yeah, but anyway, I thought that was interesting.